Hello and welcome to Challenges in Education. Today we're going to talk about discipline. And before I get into discipline and how we can achieve discipline for students or for our children, I like to make sure that everybody is on the same page and we all know exactly what we are going to discuss and what we're going to discuss about achieving. So, what better way to do that than actually read the definition of what discipline is? So discipline is the following of rules regulating the behavior or action of the individuals of a group and thus guarantee order. Where order is the approach of a specific goal or the production of work. When I say work, I mean having output that is constructive. Therefore, by this definition, we can definitely see what discipline is not, and this is very helpful because often um, uh, what, uh, what we see is a mix-up of ideas. So let's see what discipline is not before I begin rambling any longer. So discipline is not punishment. Discipline is not suppression, and discipline is definitely not oppression. Discipline implies that the group of individuals that discipline themselves to a set of behaviors all have a common consensus or belief that these behaviors are going to get them closer to their commonly set goal. And because we are talking now about academics and we are talking about the relationship between parents and children or educators and students, it is also a given that you as an adult, as the adult in the relationship, as the adult and a natural leader of the group, which you should be because if you are not, then we have other problems, you are going to be the one that is going to set the behaviors that are going to be considered by all of the group. That means also the students or the children, that they are the ones that are going to get them closer to their purpose. So, the secret in the whole disciplining thing is to uh, to do discipline and not punishment, to have consensus rather than coercion, to have a whole concept within the child that not only he or she has to do what they have to do, but they do it because they understand it is constructive and not just a whim of a stronger person, which is in this case an adult. So this is the secret, because if you don't achieve that, if you punish your way to getting the behavior you want, if as a parent or as an educator, then what is going to happen is that the moment you turn your back, this set of behavior is going to go out the window and the child is going to do the exact opposite of what you have told him or her to do. And this is going to be because of reaction, because nobody, no human being likes being oppressed or coerced or forced into doing things that they themselves don't believe they actually have to do for their own good and for their own advancement. Therefore, if you cannot convince a child of the good of what you are telling him to do, and we are going to see how you can do that, then you are going to lapse into punishment. And that means that you are going to use the cruder means that you have, which is brutal force that doesn't have to do with the power of conviction, to enforce the set of behaviors that you like. And that means that you are going to teach the kid that it doesn't matter what you are telling him to do. All that matters is that he is not strong enough to oppose you. That puts you, as you can understand, in a very bad situation that is only going to lead you to trouble in the future and maybe even in the near future. So, discipline means that even when the kid is going to back against what you are telling him or her to do, the kid will know that you have a very specific reasoning for doing it and that you are the one that knows better. Now we're going to see how we can achieve that. This is very easily achievable actually. It is done in easy steps, at least easy to understand steps. The toughness and the difficulty of the problem is not in understanding what to do or even starting to do it. It is, as I said, in falling back on the other video I did on the principles that we need to keep in mind, it is on remaining consistent and keeping with it until you actually achieve discipline that is going to come from the heart of the kid and the mind of the kid when they absorb this approach in life that you will have taught them. So that would be the only difficulty on our part as adults, to be consistent with the kids once we begin. So let's see the easy steps. The easy steps would be first to set your goal. Your goal, especially when you are beginning with disciplining, should be easy, and it should be short-lived, easily and quickly attainable. For example, if you want to make your kid perform better at school in general and have a high academic standard, don't start with that goal as a set, and don't tell your kid that this is your general goal. Keep that in your mind. What you will set for the kid is a very simple, quick goal. For example, do well in the upcoming quiz. And by doing well, I mean give me this level and up of a grade, a B or a B plus or an A if you want to start off the deep end. So set therefore just this goal of doing well in one test and achieve it. And then you will be able to set a bigger goal to do well in a midterm and achieve it. And then you are going to set another goal to do well in a final and achieve it. And then you will have achieved doing well in that particular class. And that is how you are going to push your child gradually without making him fear or look at a mountain of tasks to do. And also you are going to coach yourself into following through with all of this by breaking up the goals into smaller ones that are attainable and more easily controllable. So, first of all, set your goal and make it easy at first. Easy in terms of time management and how much stuff you have to do in order to achieve it. Second, the other thing you need to do is to set your rules for achieving that particular goal. And this is very important. All your rules have to be logically connected to how the goal is going to be achieved. So if you set the goal to get an A in the upcoming quiz, you are going to set all the rules geared to getting that. So you're going to tell your kid, we're going to study for an hour every day until the quiz. And then we're going to discuss it for half an hour every day until the quiz. And then I'm going to check on you starting from the beginning of the material that you will be tested on twice every week, and so on and so forth. Because these are all rules that are going clearly and easily understandably going to get your kid closer to actually getting his high mark. So don't put rules such as 1 hour of TV or early sleeping or early rising or stuff like that, because that might be indirectly connected to maybe studying more or having a clearer mind or stuff like that, but they are not directly connected to your goal, and that is going to give you problems with the children, because you are asking them to break far more habits than they can at one go in order to get something that is relatively small in value to them. So they are not going to discipline themselves for that. What you need to do is to give them one task to do and let them arrange it in a way that will give you the output you want but without forcing them to change completely all at once. So if the kid wants to study for that 1 hour in the morning before school, let him. If he wants to do it at night, let him. If he wants to do it just before bedtime, let him. Your only purpose and your only checkup on this will be on whether it is an efficient way of achieving that particular rule. So if your kid wants to study for an hour before bedtime in order to get the A for the quiz, then you are going to let him do it for 1 or 2 days, and then you are going to check on him and see whether he actually does retain what he learns. If he does, don't make him change the rule because it is working, and your purpose is to go closer to your goal, not to shoehorn your kid into exactly what your concept is of a good studying discipline. If it works, don't break it. But if you see that he has very poor retention and that he doesn't remember all that he should remember by studying for an hour, then you will discuss with your kid and you will say, from what I see, you cannot have your maximum performance by studying at that time, so you have to study earlier. And this is how you teach your kid to not only discipline himself to something that is logical, but also in the same time, excuse me, to teach him to create a practical and a realistic program for himself, which is going to help him very well into adulthood later. So that is the second thing. The third goes hand in hand with this second thing discussion that I did. The third step would be to explain to your kids why they have to follow these rules and why these rules are going to help them achieve the goal. So that will not only teach them to have a very firm connection to reality and cause and effect, that if I do this, this will happen. If I don't do this, this will not happen. You will also show them that you appreciate them enough and you consider them intelligent enough to sit down and explain to them why you are doing certain things. And this is going to motivate them more, as we're going to discuss in motivation, to actually discipline themselves and do what you are asking them. Okay. Also, this is a suggestion from me, I have seen that it works. If you see that your kid has an objection to the rule that you are setting and can support it with a good argument that is very logical, then take it into consideration and adjust the rule to fit the problem or the issue that your kid has mentioned. This also is going to be very good bonding for you and your child or you and your students, and also it is going to make a process far easier and the kids more invested in the resulting rules. The fourth step that you would need to follow would be what happens when the kids break the rules, when they don't do what they are supposed to and what they agreed to do with you. And you have to first of all keep in mind that especially when you begin disciplining them and you hadn't up to now, then they are going to test you, and they are going to test you vigorously for a very short period of time. And this is your challenge. This is where you have to hold, because if you break and you cannot discipline them when they are testing you on whether you actually can do it, you are going to lose this relationship of trust and obeying that you need to have in order to continue helping them achieve their goals and teaching them how to be disciplined enough in life to not fall into problems that they can avoid. So when a kid breaks the rule, comes the time for you not to punish the kid, but to show him or her that they cannot escape doing what they need to do. So if, for example, they didn't study that 1 hour that you had agreed that they should study, what you should do is not punish them by, for example, not giving him ice cream or not letting him watch TV just so, because that isn't directly connected to getting to your goal, which is all the purpose of what discipline is. What you should do is you should calmly but firmly say that, well, we have agreed that you have to study 1 hour every day, and you cannot study 2 hours tomorrow because you will not have the proper retention. Therefore, you will study that 1 hour now, starting now in 5 minutes. And then, when you are done with this hour of studying and everything is well done, you can continue doing whatever you want, or finish your day or whatever. And this is going to be communicated to the kid not as punishment but as something that has to be done. And this is the problem and the challenge for us adults, because this will happen when we are tired. This will happen when we are burdened from other things from work. This will happen when we really have other things to do or other commitments to make. Unfortunately, in order for this thing to work, you have to put that aside and tell your kid to do that and stay there over that particular period of time to make sure that the kid does what he is supposed to do. And and also you shouldn't be scared to cut sleeping time or cut eating time from the kid in order for him to replenish the hour that he didn't that he missed, that he chose not to do, because it is going to benefit him much more to actually do the work that he knows that he should have done but didn't do, rather than have an extra hour of sleep or an extra toast or whatever. Therefore, and also that reminds me that you shouldn't be worried if they cry themselves blue over this. You should stay calm and you should say that I know that it is hard, cry out as much as you want, but you will also study. You will not be deprecating. You will not tell him that he or she, tell her that she is a bad girl or he is a bad boy. You will tell him, I understand, I know it is hard, you are gonna do it. Because you will feel much better when you get that A and you will remember me. And I will be much happier with you, and so that means that everybody is going to be happier. We are going to do this together, no matter how hard it is. And although your kid might say that he hates you or, act out in various ways, you will realize that very, very quickly you're going to cast this in trust and in appreciation and in respect from your kid or from your student. So, and that brings me basically to the fifth step, to the fifth part of disciplining. As adults, we need to adhere to the program of discipline very vigorously, and we must never break the rules. So, if we break the rules, we are going to give the bad example to our kids that the rules can't be broken when there is no reason to. And although we have all these discussions that the rules are meant to be broken and so on and so forth, we will see maybe in another video that the rules that are broken, they are broken for a reason, and usually because the rule we break was clashing against a rule that was far higher in the rank and to which we still adhere to and we serve. But this is a higher level of processing of what to adhere to and what not to. A kid isn't ready for this, and we aren't ready for this when we begin discipline. So, we need to stick to the rules like we stick to prayer, or like we would stick to prayer if this was a nunnery. So, this is the most important thing. I cannot stress it enough that we need to do, because kids learn by imitation. If we show that we adhere to our own rules, whether we like it or not, the kid is going to do it too, whether he likes it or not. And then you will see that the kid is going to fall into a routine, and then little by little, and actually faster than you think, you won't have to actually discipline the kid actively. You will just need to check on a good course, and that will be it. Finally, and this is also another thing that happens, it is part of the process of trial and error, and kids should learn to go through such processes, is that if you see reasonably that a rule doesn't work or is counteractive of counterintuitive of what you want to do, what you will do is you will sit your kid down, not at the time when the rule should be followed, but at a different time, and you will discuss and say, well, I have seen that the application of this rule doesn't help our goal, therefore we are going to change it, and we are going to follow instead this new rule that, based on our experience, is going to work better. This is going to this is going to teach your kid critical thinking and how to adjust his lifestyle and adjust the routines in his or her life to make it more efficient. They will become, by all this process, if you continue it in the organized manner that I have presented, it will help your kids be reliable adults, basically. It will help your kids be in control of their lives despite of whatever hardship or problem or challenge they will meet. And they will be taught to stick to their goal and get to it. So, this is all for today. I hope I was clear enough. If there is anything that you want me to clear up, please leave a comment below. If you want me to give examples, please leave comments below. And in any case, if you have problems, if you have objections to anything I have said, please leave a comment below and we will discuss it. And if you liked what you saw, please like this video or subscribe to my channel. And I'm hoping that pretty soon I'm going to get a better quality camera so that you will be able to enjoy a better video. So, thank you and see you next week.